Hi, welcome back to Chase's Everything Shooting. Today's episode is about the powder shortage, and it's going to be my last episode on this, hopefully. It's been kind of a crazy time. When I first put this out a year ago, February, I believe it was, I got a lot of naysayers. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just crazy, and I try not to listen to a lot of that, but I kind of have to look at it, and there's some valid points in there, but I just want to get to the bottom of this, and we'll move on and to a lot of other reloading things. But this gunpowder shortage is going to be a big thing, and it is becoming a big thing. And I want to just explain this out. There is going to be attached a Reuters article, and you'll see that in the description box below, along with all my other posts about what's going on in the industry. And basically, I would just want to bring this to a head and kind of let everybody know where we are, what's going on, and how this is all happening. There's been a lot of things that we've talked about with the gunpowder shortage, and really the shortage isn't gunpowder, it's nitrocellulose. And we've all talked about that in the description box below. You can go through and see all those posts that I've done, and I'm not going to go backwards, I'm just going to go forward, because hopefully you've gone through those and you understand where nitrocellulose is used and how it's used in other products and why this is such a big thing. So let's get to the nuts and bolts of this. Reuters did a very, very good article, which really got no press at all, about what's going on with the munitions industry in America and in Europe. There's a lot of blame to go around for our shortage, but let's just get to the nuts and bolts of this. The number one cause of the shortage is the Department of Defense. The number two cause of the shortage is the Environmental Protection Agency. What does the EPA have to do with ammunition? Well, let's just get to the nuts and bolts of it. Back 20 years ago, the EPA went to the military and said, you know what? Making all these propellants creates different solvents, creates problems for the environment, and you need to find another way to make this happen. Well, the Army has been using the Radford facility since 1941, okay? That's way back. That's World War II, prior World War II. And they have been making propellants, gunpowders, rocket propellants, mortar propellants, anything that they could make with using nitrocellulose and a lot of other different chemicals. And the EPA was pushing the Department of Defense very, very hard. So they started stepping back saying, well, what can we do to make this better? And not thinking about, hey, we need to always keep our arsenals built, we need to keep this going on. They started looking at, are there other places that we can buy these propellants? And in 2014, during the Obama era, they came up with this, we're going to buy propellants offshore. Offshore meaning foreign countries. Now, nitrocellulose, the largest producer is Thailand. Then you go to China. There are many others, but those are the top two. India is three right in there. It's close, but those are the top three producers. So we started going out and buying nitrocellulose for our propellants, for our gunpowders and propellants, from foreign countries. Now, I don't know about you, but is that a good idea? To put our country's defense tied to another country? Well, not a good idea to me, but let's get to it. So they were trying to wind down or make the Radford plant more EPA friendly. So they started doing a bunch of different upgrades to the facility to try to get it more ecological friendly, let's say. And during this period of time, the last 20 to 25 years, there have been issues at the plant. And the Radford plant has had 2 major explosions and 6 minor explosions during this period of time. The largest explosion was due to a 8,600 pounds of TNT exploding. And of course, all this is pretty quiet, so we don't know exactly why it exploded or what happened, but there was a person killed in that explosion and major damage done to the facility. And then a few years later, they had another explosion, and I believe that was 1985, and it killed 2 employees, and it left a crater a half an acre wide. So this again started pushing the DoD to look at different areas of purchasing the propellants that we need. Now, we all know that nitrocellulose is the base to a lot of these. You'll find aluminum, you'll find a lot of other things that are incorporated in propellants, but for us in the reloading industry, we're looking at the nitrocellulose. The nitrocellulose is really the base of most of the propellants. So this has created quite an issue. And so we have gone out and allowed the DoD to purchase offshore all these different components to defend America. Well, not a good idea. We all know that. And what that's done is that has put us in a very bad quandary because we've got, I don't know how many artillery shells that are supposed to be sent to the Ukraine. We've got small caliber ammunition and mortars that are going to Israel, and our stockpiles are dwindling. And now the government is in a huge, huge panic to try to build back what we should have in our normal stockpiles. So again, you're seeing the movement here of, hey, what are we doing? Where is it going? And it's not going in a real good direction. Now, what does that do for us as reloaders? Well, it makes it that much harder because if the government is sucking up as much of the nitrocellulose as they can in order to build back their munitions stockpiles, that means that there's going to be much less for us. Much, much, much less. But you know what? There is a little bit out there. I'm watching the powder websites. They're a little coming through, and if you don't jump on it right then, they're out. It's amazing how fast this stuff is going. But you have to think about where we're headed and what's going on. We have given $90 billion to support the Israelis and their war with Hamas and all that in the Ukraine. And that leaves 120 other armed conflicts out there. Now, is America in all these armed conflicts? No. A lot of these are little civil wars going on in a lot of these different smaller countries, but not to say that we're not supporting one side or another with possibly ammunition, possibly guns. You know, there are a lot of different things out there that are going on. So we can't put our head in the sand and think that this is all going to go away. It's not going away. Trust me, it's not going away. So what I would say to you is, first of all, go down in the description box below and find the article from Reuters. Very, very good article. I know it's about artillery shells, but if you read the whole thing, you're going to get a broad view of what's going on in the nitrocellulose industry and how that's going to affect us all the way around. It really opened my eyes to some of the craziness that the DoD is doing. I would never allow my welfare to be counted on by a foreign government. It's just like we should make our own gunpowder, we should make our own ammunition, we should grow our own food. You know, we should never allow that to be done and be outsourced, because at any time someone wants to get to us here in America, they can cut those avenues off. So enough political. I'm not going to move forward with any more of the gunpowder posts just because this really explains it all. We've done it. It's there. We all know what's coming, and that's what it's going to be. So be prepared. Prepare and cover yourself. And just God bless America. Thank you. Please subscribe and like.